another update on the Trigger Lead saga. Boy, I feel like
Right.
we need like the Edge of Night or As the World Turns. It
As
seems
the
like we're
world turns.
who shot JR. Like this is an ever evolving thing where it's kind of an up again and down again. But I
Carl,
hear we have some breaking news on the
Carl,
Trigger Lead.
like sands through the hourglass. These are the days of
Yes,
our lives.
yes, yes.
That's
So give us the newest update. We just did an update, I think, like
right.
last week, and usually it's like 6 months before we do another one. But kind of breaking news. Give it to us.
Well, we had some good news, and for those of us kind of nerdy political watchers like myself, I think this was good news. So, just to recap from our last update, the NBA and a lot of us who have been lobbying hard on the Trigger Leads bill got a little bit of a gut punch because we had our Trigger Lead legislation included in the National Defense Authorization Act, which is a must-pass bill, and we just didn't make it through all of the kind of the bishops, if you will, of the House and the Senate. There's a guy who chairs in the current Congress the House Financial Services Committee named Patrick McHenry, and he is not a fan of our Trigger Leads legislation. He's really kind of a true free market, as many offers as you could possibly get is good for the consumer type person, which I understand intellectually that thought process if you live in a vacuum and you don't see how it's applied to folks in their day-to-day lives, how that could be a thing. But you got our Trigger Lead bill dropped, and it's not looking like we're going to get it back in. But something happened this past week, which is very good directionally for Trigger Leads as we look to the next Congress. So Patrick McHenry is retiring. He is not going to be part of the next Congress that starts, that was recently elected in November, that starts on January 3rd. And they had an election for a new chair of the House Financial Services Committee for the next Congress, which starts on January 3rd. And the winner of that election was a guy named Congressman French Hill from Arkansas, Republican. And he is a co-sponsor of our Trigger Leads bill in this Congress, something we're very proud of. We have 93 co-sponsors just in the House. We have about 135 overall, but 93 just in the House. That means mathematically more than 20% of the House of Representatives co-sponsors our legislation, and French Hill is one of them. So I think it's very good news directionally for the Trigger Lead legislation in the next Congress that the chair of the House Financial Services Committee is a co-sponsor of the Trigger Leads bill. So, last week we were kind of recovering from our gut punch. We got the wind knocked out of us, and this week we got a new spring in our step. So good news I wanted to share with everybody.
And the basics of the bill that this guy is one of the co-sponsors of, what does that mean to
Mm-hmm.
us as loan officers? Like if this thing goes how we're hoping to, I know it's not a perfect world, but it's a definitely a move in the right direction. What would be the possible or even likely end result of it?
Right. So what you have to figure is you're going to think of the Trigger Leads as right now it's open to the entire market. Any mortgage company, marketing company can call up one of the credit repositories and buy leads of people who have recently had their credit pulled for the purpose of real estate mortgage. And so that's the world that we live in right now. And of course, that lead is sold, call it a dozen times. That lead is then put into a contact management system at, say, a dozen companies. So that's how you get this kind of nonsense of 200, 250 contacts within 70 or within 72 hours is they're not selling the lead 250 times. They're selling the lead 10 to 15 times, and each one of those companies is contacting them 10 to 20 times in the first 5, 6 days.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
So what this would do is it would limit the people that can have access to that information to essentially past customers or borrowers who grant their permission. So everybody presumably would have a phrase in their application package like we do at Success Mortgage Partners, which grants us that access. The current mortgage servicer would be included, and banks with which that person has a depository relationship. So right now we get presumably the originating mortgage company, the servicer, and the depository bank. And I tell you, the servicers are getting better and better all the time, but I've been on the retail origination side of this business for 22 years now, and I will happily compete against a servicer and a depository bank every single day. We're going to play very well on that field. The people who are listening to this podcast episode are going to play very well on that field. So it's not a perfect system. Like in a perfect system, it'd be just us. I get it. That's great. There's too many powerful servicers with friends on Capitol Hill that bill's not going to happen. But man, if we could limit it to 3, we would really, really do well.
Yeah, big difference. So awesome. Hey, Owen, if somebody wants to hear more about this, or let me ask a better question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything we can do to help this along as people are listening to this? Is there anything that we can do or to help this process?
So I would suggest 2 things. Everybody within the sound of the voice of this podcast should be a member of the Mortgage Action Alliance. That is a totally free group sponsored by the Mortgage Bankers Association, but you don't have to be a Mortgage Bankers Association member to join the Mortgage Action Alliance. You can just Google Mortgage Action Alliance. And what that does, they have a very sophisticated system. You register with your home address in the precinct in which you vote. And so it identifies who your 2 senators are and who your congressperson is. And then when they have a call to action, the biggest thing in our democracy that our elected representatives want to hear is from people that live in their district or live in their state. And so that system, when there's a call to action and say, hey, we need everybody to react to, this vote or this committee vote or something like that, then all you have to do is click a couple of buttons and a communication gets sent on your behalf. And of course, you get to see and edit the communication in advance if you choose to do so. It's a great system. So Google Mortgage Action Alliance. If you're already a Mortgage Action Alliance member, please Google it and sign up anyway, because a lot of people don't know you have to renew your membership every year. So a lot of people think they're members, but they need to become members again. So do that. Or give me a follow on LinkedIn. I normally post on this kind of stuff. As you know, Carl, I'm very active in the Mortgage Bankers Association. I'm the current vice chair, and I try to publish as much as I can about the actions of these types of things in the Mortgage Bankers Association, because I think the Mortgage Bankers Association and the professional staffers there do great work. And I think we, the members of the Mortgage Bankers Association, don't talk enough about what that organization does to protect our industry. So I try and publish as much as I can. So join the Mortgage Action Alliance, give me a follow on LinkedIn, and stay informed, because we got to show up in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Great news. Thanks for the update. And again, on LinkedIn, it's Owen Lee, Owen, standard spelling, Lee, Lee. So good stuff, man. Hey, thanks for everything you do on the Alliance, and thanks for everything you do for me personally. I really appreciate it. I love working with you, brother.
All right. Always a pleasure, Carl. I love chatting. Thank you.